Finally, dance helps us to be in the moment. So I think one of the things I find most exciting when performing and teaching is the unknown. And it's that in between space that means you have to be fully present and receptive to what's going on in the room. So I was recently performing in a show for care homes, which was choreographed by a wonderful artist and performer called T.C. Howard, who's based in Sheffield. And the show was called A Tree, a Tub, and a Moment in Time. And the whole kind of theme behind the work was all about bringing the outdoors, the outside in to care homes, which can often be quite stuffy, hot places. And so we had a really beautiful set. We had a big roll of astroturf and these beautiful sort of dried flowers. So we made a meadow and we transformed the living room spaces of care homes we went round to. We had a tin bath that one of the performers got in and sang while he was having a bath. And it was just really bonkers and beautiful. And in one of the performances, the show begins with a woman called Charlotte, and she plays the cello, and it's all very beautiful. And then little old me comes on, and I start prancing around. And one of the residents who was watching the show was not happy about the fact that I was dancing around her living room, which is kind of fair enough. And she said, "Will you bloody sit down?" Like that. And then before you know it, there's kind of this argument happening while the performance is going on. And in the end, it was all fine and everyone enjoyed it. But it's that liveness and those sort of situations where you really don't know how something's going to go, that excites me, which, people might find a bit weird because it is also quite stressful sometimes. But similarly, there was another moment when we were doing some R&D, some research and development for the show. We were testing out some ideas, and TC was stood on a chair and she was sort of falling off the chair. And as she fell off the chair, me and another dancer were sort of catching her. And as she fell off the chair, she was reaching towards the residents and then coming back. So at one point she fell off the chair and we were kind of gliding her towards someone. And this woman said, "Oh, you couldn't pass me that bicky, could you, love?" And so we lifted her back onto the chair. We swooped her down again. She picked up the biscuit, passed it to the woman, and that was that. And it was just one of those really amazing, golden, magical moments that you literally couldn't write, or if you came up with that as something that you wanted to put in the performance, it just wouldn't work because it was just so improvised and in the moment. And they're quite specific examples, being in care homes where literally anything could happen. But I think also just the energy, even if it's a performance where the choreography is very specific and on point and precise, and you've got to really know exactly what you're doing, and there's not really that much room for improvisation, there's still that energy between audience and performer, and it's that energy that really excites me. So obviously, without having these moments with audiences, I think that's why I've been questioning why dance matters, and these moments with participants in classes teaching. It's been quite a long time without this interaction. And for me, it's such a big part of why dance is important. It's that immediacy, that feedback you get from the people that you're performing to, or the participants of the workshop. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I've been questioning it, because I've not been able to do that for a while. But we are a strong and resilient bunch, and I think that we will have these moments again. And me and Joe, I think, like most of you will probably already know about this project we've just started called Doorstep Dances. And it literally is what it says on the tin. We're making a selection of short dance pieces that we're going to be taking into the community in Hull and performing them on people's front doorsteps. So we're taking our first baby steps into figuring out what performance is going to be like in front of an audience again in this kind of post-COVID world or whatever. I'm going to start to wrap things up now, and I'm going to finish with a little extract from an article that I found, and it was written by someone called Nichelle Suzanne, and she's an online dance writer, and I think it just sort of sums up a lot of this, my thoughts around why dance matters. Why does dance matter? Because movement is a means to giving life, sustaining life, contemplating life, and sharing life. That's what we get from moving. Dance is the outward expression of that life, what we give of our physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual selves. It's not the only way to do so, but dance is certainly close to the source of existence. In any or all of its forms, be it the uninhibited cascade of activity accompanying a favourite song while no one else is looking, the authentic and unassuming gestures of a child, the elderly couple finding unity and recalling youth on the dance floor, the entertainer or the artist creating and conjuring magic on a nightly basis. Dance matters. Dance matters because through it, we can access all four corners of our being. Dance matters because our stories, the experiences which we share, despite whatever lines or divides we draw, matter. Dance matters because we matter. Hey, I just read that and I thought, yeah, I can get on board with that. So on that note, I'm going to invite you to participate in a creative stream of consciousness writing exercise. So you don't have to share this with anyone. It's more for yourself, so that if you would like to participate in the discussion at the end, you can have some thoughts on a piece of paper to reflect on and maybe contribute with to the discussion. So I would like you to think about a time you have watched some dance or danced with someone, a child or a friend maybe, or maybe it's a specific memorable night out, or maybe you would just like to think about dance in general or movement in general. And we're going to write for 2.5 minutes. So the writing doesn't have to be in clear sentences. It might just be words or images that come to mind straight out of the pen. Try not to overthink it. Let your hand flow. Okay, I hope that's sort of clear for everyone. So if you want to grab a pen and paper, I'm going to put a little timer on and I'll tell you when we start.